Good morning, Reed here. Thanks for joining me as I have my morning walkabout at Orchestra Farm. There's some geese in the background there. What I actually heard as I was approaching the gate was a crow cawing, and I looked up to see it, and instead I saw a crescent moon. Just felt great to have that bit of celestial connection as I start my day. And yeah, I had a great hike last night with a friend. We hiked a local mountain, enjoyed the sunset from the summit, and it's amazing what perspective like that can, in some contexts, like do for us. But I also question the notion of, wow, this is like, so I don't know where I want to step, but you see how I got in here with the tractor, and there's still so much water here. I'm really impressed that I made it through this with it on. It didn't get stuck. Excellent. Anyway, perspective when you're at those heights. And with all that, the notion of how great it is to have different friendships, to offer different reflection of our own life and what's happening within, around us. I consider that kind of invaluable, to be honest. I'm not sure where I would be without all the other people in my life, and I know I've heard that from others at different moments about myself. And gosh, the birds sound so wonderful. And that noticing of, even the birds calling out and allowing us these moments when we look off in their directions of seeing things like the moon, which I'm looking at right now. And that deepening of perspective, like what opens up your perspective? I find that's one of the things I love about gardening and farming. You can see I got in here the other day with both the mower and the weed whacker, trimming things down and getting ready to plant that up today. And this connection with the soil, connection with, the varying animals and plants, they all really add to this greater perspective context and bring a lot of richness to life. One of the things I'm developing right now is like, how do I sum up not necessarily my perspective, but what I'm offering with that perspective. And it's an observation of creative responsibility, freedom, meaning. And how those things, from my perspective, stack kind of in that order. And yeah, every time I think about it, I gain a new aspect of it. And this notion of, when we're babies, there is an aspect of creative force that is present. And we don't have any of the other things. We slowly are developing meaning across all of them. And as we move with our creative force, we develop our dexterity and ability. And there's a responsibility to develop those. You might think they happen on their own. They don't. It takes perseverance. Even just to walk requires a great deal of perseverance. There's a lot of work that has to happen down here to accomplish that, to learn how to write or to type. all these things require perseverance to the creative task. And that's a responsibility. And then once we've got that going, then we can begin to explore freedom with those things. And, mind you, maybe some people don't ever even explore freedom, which is a real shame in my opinion, because it's glorious what happens, like when you take poetic license, and I mean that in the broadest of spectrums, based on whatever, creative skill set one is working with. And by creative, that can be basically anything. And then once you have those three pieces, the creative, the responsibility, and freedom being explored, meaning arises, as far as I've been able to notice. And sure, we can pick up meaning from other sources. That's certainly what all the varying religions of the world and belief systems, and even cultural adaptations or systems that are out there have to offer, is a shortcut to meaning. And I say it like that because shortcuts are both great. However, they're not the lived experience of it. And the lived experience of it is what really drives it home, of what helps it to land with us as a given person, as a given being of this earth. And I find that a really fruitful, well-rooted discovery process. Well, I gotta get on to work, as you well know. I want to say thanks for watching today. Thanks for subscribing to the channel here. It really makes a world of difference for me personally, and it's an easy way to offer support, along with liking the video and any comments that you have out there. I noticed somebody commented on a video a couple days ago, and I went and actually looked at the video because it was from a year ago, and I was shocked at how the number of views had gone up. So even if you're watching this in the distant future, all of those things and ways of supporting really do help and matter. And I am checking on it, so even if I don't get to it this week, because heck, life is so full, at some point I will. And I try to do it as soon as possible. But when you're living life, things come up. And we got to be honest about our priorities. So, thanks again. Appreciate everybody out there. And have too much fun.